Cyberpunk 2077 was released to a critical scathing over a year ago now, after consistently being considered one of the most anticipated games for about as long as we can remember really. The once heralded CD Projekt Red, the studio behind the Witcher series, was known for its pedigree in open world RPGs, and many saw Cyberpunk 2077 as a way for the studio to deliver something new, exciting, and definitively sci-fi. And obviously that didn't turn out to be the case after the game came out to a series of low-scoring reviews from both critics and fans for its terribly buggy and broken state. The game was seemingly forgotten about as quickly as Sam will say I'm playing a dead game every time I ask him to squad up with me in Apex Legends. I mean, does the guy not like getting dubbed or something? Hi there guys, Aaron here, and deep cuts from Sam's side. The coveted next-gen update for Cyberpunk 2077 could be with us as early as March if recent reports are to be believed. Now that shouldn't be too much of a surprise because CD did state that the next-gen update was intended for release in Q1 of 2022. That's if you actually had a good enough prescription to read the roadmap that they released. But they also said it was going to come out in 2021, so who knows at this point. If an update does arrive around March, then that will come to players a whopping 15 months since the original game was released, and it begs the question, does Cyberpunk 2077 deserve a second chance? Personally, I didn't mind the game from what I played of it. It held that high quality writing we're accustomed to from CD, especially in its side content, and the world felt well realised. I only had a handful of technical issues and crashes, but I mean, what wasn't crashing during the opening months of the PlayStation 5? If you picked up and dropped Cyberpunk 2077 within the span of a few hours, there is a potential to this next gen release that could warrant revisiting Night City once more, or even for the first time. Not only will the game come with what can be assumed to be a frame rate and resolution boost and the possible implementation of haptic feedback, Cyberpunk 2077 has also had a grueling 13 months at this point of updates and the ironing out of a lot of the kinks that spoiled the experience for so many back in 2020. But of course, me saying all this does fly in the face of what was a gross example of mistrust from a developer that convinced us to pay for a game that clearly wasn't ready. I mean, you literally couldn't buy this game on the PlayStation Store for a large part of 2021, and the company even released a controversial apology video that tried to shift the blame towards QA testers.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Going by the company's history though, and the bare bones launch, the messy release of Cyberpunk 2077 was no choice of those developing the actual game. This is a world and story that the team clearly put a lot of work into, and going by the fact that the game's DLC, online content and next gen update are still to be released over a year later, it's obvious that the game was forced out of the door. This is a worrying and continuing trend we are seeing time and time again from publishers that are strong-arming releases for yearly bonuses, and it's clearly what has happened with EA and Battlefield 2042, which at the time of recording just announced its first season wouldn't launch until the summer of this year. But maybe that in itself is another video. But Cyberpunk is also a video game world ripe for utter immersion. Night City looks incredible, has lore for days, and of course, Keanu Reeves. I mean, come on, who doesn't love that guy?
You're breathtaking.
After sinking 25 hours into the game, I actually decided to hold off from the base game until the next gen release came out so that I could immerse myself in an unfettered version of the game. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Does Cyberpunk 2077 deserve a second chance? Will you be picking up the game again and revisiting Night City, or maybe you're going for the first time? Personally, I think it's got a wee bit too much potential to completely dismiss, but that is just me. But anyway guys, thanks for watching the video. Remember to drop a comment down below because we'd love to get in a discussion with you guys about this. And like the video if you liked the video, and even better, subscribe if you loved it, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.